12. Nationalism in the 19th century. During the 19th century, Europeans felt strongly that their homelands merited loyalty and self-sacrifice. These nationalistic feelings were awakened during the upheavals of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, 1789 to 1814, when French armies invaded much of Europe. In many countries, military resistance to Napoleon aroused the citizens' sense of national identity. Common bonds of language, culture, and history were strengthened as battles were fought by soldiers drawn from the general population, not by mercenaries as in the past. These patriotic feelings were intensified by Romanticism, which glorified loves for one's national heritage. As a revolutionary political movement, nationalism led to a unification of lands such as Germany and Italy that had previously been divided into tiny states. It spurred revolts in countries under foreign rule, such as Poland and Bohemia. Bohemia was later part of the Czech Republic. Nationalism influenced Romantic music, as composers deliberately gave their works a distinctive national identity. They used folk songs and dances and created original melodies with a folk flavor. Nationalist composers wrote operas and program music inspired by the history, legends, and landscapes of their native lands. Their works bear titles like Russian Eastern Overture, Finlandia, and Slavic dances. But a genuine feeling of national style does not come merely through the use of folk songs or patriotic subjects. A piece of music will sound French, Russian, or Italian when its rhythm, tone color, texture, and melody spring from national tradition. There were regional traits in music before the Romantic period, but never had differences of national style been emphasized so strongly or so concisely. Bedřich Smetana, 1824 to 1884. Smetana was the founder of Czech national music. His works were steeped in the folk music and legends of his native Bohemia. But he grew up when Bohemia was under Austrian domination. His musical nationalism could make little headway. He immigrated to Sweden in 1856. In 1862, when Austria had made some liberal concessions, Smetana returned to Prague. He was an active composer, pianist, conductor, and teacher, and wrote The Bartered Bride, his most famous opera. At age 50, he became completely deaf, but some of the finest works followed, including My Country, 1874 to 1879, a cycle of 6 symphonic poems. His last years were blighted by syphilis, and he died in an insane asylum at age 60. So the music you're going to listen to is the Moldau, 1874. Smetana says, "Today I took an excursion to the St. John Rapids, where I sailed in a boat through huge waves. The view of the landscape was both beautiful and grand." Smetana's trip inspired his famous symphonic poem, the Moldau, which depicts Bohemia's main river as it flows through the countryside. This orchestral work is part of the cycle My Country, is both a romantic representation of nature and a display of Czech nationalism. The Moldau was written in 3 weeks.